Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Yes, sir. My name is Yatir. Every government has a very tight rope to walk, economics versus politics. Even this government finally gave up to subsidies. You know, you had the election coming in and you had to follow, you started doing farmer subsidies and all. How will you tackle this? How does this culture change?
Well, yeah. You want another question?
No, you answer this.
See, I can't comment on the politics of it. I'm a technocrat. But let me explain this particular farmer thing so that you understand what was actually is being done, so that you know the context. Whether it works or not, you judge. But let me at least tell you why it was done in this particular way. You see, our farm sector now faces a peculiarly new problem. All our farm policies, all this while since the Green Revolution, were all about producing more and more calories. Why? Because we were basically a country that had in relatively recent times faced starvation, Bengal famine and so on. Not surprisingly, population was exploding out, so not surprisingly, we were basically, let's produce ever more food, and we measured success with how much food we could produce.
Yeah, and fill people's bellies.
Yes.
With carbohydrates.
So now, we have now a problem. We want to grow agriculture, let's say at 3%. Meanwhile, our population growth rate has crashed. Our population is no longer
1.4% and
it is now at 1%. And that 1% is also not because we are having more babies. Our birth rates are actually now declined to replacement levels. There are many parts of the country where they are well below replacement levels.
I think UP is keeping us going.
Yes, UP is keeping us going. So population growth rate, to the extent it is happening at all now and in the future, will be because we are living longer, which is a good thing, by the way. Now, in this situation, therefore, how do you grow agriculture? If you grow more and more food, nobody is going to eat it. We can export some of these items, but on a bulk basis, we can't, simply because we are not competitive on a global basis.
There's too much food in the world now.
There's too much food in the world. So what do we now do? So this, as a result of the success, in fact, of what we were trying to do, we have ended up in a situation that you produce a little bit more food, the price gets depressed. Now, if we get a good monsoon, prices will get depressed even further. So, in this situation, the old way of helping farmers, which was basically by giving them input benefits of various kinds. So, if I give them cheap power, let's say cheap fertilizers, whatever other, or even MSBs, what are we telling the farmer to do? Go forth and produce more. Now, if you're going to produce even more, and I'm subsidizing him to produce more, he's actually going to get hurt because the price decline will more than make up for the increase. So, in this environment, we have to think about agriculture in a fundamentally different way. So, where there are various things to be done, they have to wean them off to growing more, producing more proteins and other things. So, that's a longer discussion, but there is one thing we do need to do, which we are attempting now, which is one thing to do is to maybe do direct income transfer to the farmers. So, what you do is, instead of giving him more fertilizer, which means he has to produce more in order to take benefit of it, to produce food we don't want, we just give him a top-up income directly into his account. At least his production choices are no longer being skewed by my behavior.
Right now, you are ending up having to give both.
Yes, because in transition, you cannot, after all, on day one, if I say I'm withdrawing this and nobody knows whether the other one is turning up or not, I'll have a problem. And yes, we are a democracy facing an election, so the political leadership will take a certain call. But I think about what we are attempting to do. We're essentially trying to provide this directly. If this works, it will be fantastic. And by the way, this is the first time in history we can actually do it, because we actually have Aadhaar. We actually have forced everybody to get an account through the Jan Dhan scheme. Some parts of the country at least have got digitized land records, and other parts we are getting them digitized. So if there was a moment in history where we could actually pull this off, this has got to be it. Again, would be criminal not to try it out.